Okay. Hello. This is Adesla. Today I'm going to talk to you about music. I hope that's alright. Okay. This week's album of the week is Young the Giant's debut album, Young the Giant. I posted that on my Facebook page today, and my sister very promptly commented, "Where's the video?" So here's the video, Timpo. Thank you for encouraging me. Alright. Why did I choose this album? I will tell you, audience. I chose this album because, like a good friend or a warm blanket, it has been in my life for as long as I can remember, and it's kind of left an indelible mark on how I enjoy music, which I think is a very great answer. Also, I think it just sounds awesome. So, that is why. What are my favorite tracks on the album? It's probably, I think I chose three for the currents, and it's three for this album as well. So the three songs I mean, are Apartment, Islands, and Guns Out. So Apartment. I really like Apartment because it's the first song, and I think it's a very good opener. Like a good meal needs a good appetizer. I think every album needs a great opening song just to set the mood and establish the story, or just to get you there and be like, whoop whoop, this is the beginning. And Apartment is just that. It's not like overbearing. You're not like, all right, I'm done. You're like, oh, this tastes really good. What's next? So that's why. Also, the music video is very nice. It's like this dude and all of his pals come and pick him up, and they're like, "Hey, it's your birthday! Look outside!" And he's like, "What?" And then, and then it's like a van full of all of his friends, and then they just go to the beach. Like, what a great birthday! I think that was also the premise of an episode of New Girl. But anywho, so I really like the song because it's like a great opener. But also, whenever I think about it, I think about the music video, which I also enjoy. So yes. Islands I like a whole bunch because it's different than all the other tracks. I think Young the Giant has a tendency to have like one song that's particularly slow on the album. For Mind Over Matter, which is their sophomore album and latest album, it was Firelight, which is great. Um, yeah, and Islands is great as well. So whenever I think about the song, I think about like Whirling Dervishes, which is so cool. They are also very cool people. But also, I think it's really important that Samir, like, he's the lead singer guy, and he sings on all the songs. I mean, they all do, but he's like the lead singer. Um, but what I love about islands is how islands, like just an island in general, it's meant to symbolize loneliness in all of literature and all of any written work, or metaphorically speaking, islands typically represent loneliness. But he's able to talk about the kind of the sorrow and feeling alone and being alone in such a beautiful way that it doesn't sound sad, which I think is a symbol of a very powerful vocalist who's able to turn something that's very painful into something that's beautiful or relatable, even if you haven't experienced it. So I really like Islands. And lastly, Guns Out, I really like, which is the last song, and I suppose like what's one of my favorite lyrics in the entire album is like the first lyric in the song, which is "Get out your guns, it's time to start a fight." I'm not a particularly violent person, but the way Samir says it in such like a sedate voice, not in like a foreboding way, but just kind of like very cool. It's just, I think it's nice, like this juxtaposition, which is cool. But also the song always reminds me of like the cool kids in high school, not like the snotty ones that are like, oh, really cool, but that are just like really cool with being themselves. Um, I suppose this is the kind of people I admire, and this song always reminds me of them. So I think that's great. Why should you listen to this album? You don't have to. I'm not forcing you, but I think you should because it's just great. What does that mean? I'll tell you. I think a sign of a very good band is when they not only have like a couple of songs you like, but when you can listen to the entire album and you're like, yeah, that was right. There's some bands that I love, like which will probably I'll have album of the weeks for them too, hopefully. Like Real Estate and Mac DeMarco and like Vampire Weekend, people like that who like put a lot of time into their albums. And not only can you tell because the music like makes you feel a certain way, but because there's not a particular track that you can tell is just like filler. Like it's all to the effect and it's all meant to be meaningful. So I really like Young Giant as a band, and I think you should listen to it because they're a band worth investing in. Even their sophomore album, Mind Over Matter, I thought was delicious. So yes. But yeah, so that's the music. Thank you for listening.